Good morning and welcome back to the channel. This is Tiffany at Dynamite-Acres, and I just wanted to show you my process for cleaning up my farm fresh eggs with the bloom intact that I sell at the farmer's market and here off the farm and when I go to town on Saturday. It is Saturday today, so I'm getting ready to head into town, and these are yesterday's eggs, and we are going to crate them for our neighbors. My first step is to get my cartons ready. I use recycled cartons for my farm fresh eggs that I sell in town, not my grocery store eggs. These are from my customers, they're from my friends, they're from anyone who doesn't need their cartons anymore. The first step is to make sure that they're as clean as possible. So I've gone through the cartons and I've made sure that there isn't any stains in it, made sure that hopefully they latch good. Any of them that are just beyond usable, I throw away. If they do seem a little dusty or dirty, I have this spray, and it is water and apple cider vinegar that I made out of my apples last fall. And I just spray it on there and then let it dry. Obviously, you don't want to get it very wet because it is cardboard, but that is how I clean a dirty egg carton and prepare to go to town. So it's pretty easy to begin with. These are literally untouched. I gather eggs 2 to 3 times a day because I have so many. If you've ever tried to carry 200 eggs, that's a lot of eggs. And so a lot of times I actually drive my little Nissan down to the chicken coop and then I put them in the car and I bring them up. But this is what they look like. Some of them are dirty, some of them are clean. But we don't want to wash them because we want the bloom in place. I always start with an empty basket if possible, because I'm going to just start with sorting. So I'm just going to look at the egg, make sure it's not cracked, and then I'm going to decide which carton to put it in. Almost all of my eggs, except for when my pullets are young and they are laying small eggs, are a large or extra large. So I make sure that my cartons are larges or extra larges, and then I always have jumbos as well. And some of my big eggs are actually so big that the cartons, even the jumbo cart, don't close. So when I get to that, I often have to pull those great big ones out, and they become the eggs that we eat, or I use them for maybe tanning my hides because I use egg tanning method for my hides. So they still get used, but they just don't fit in the cartons. As you can see, sometimes they're broken. This one has just a little break. This one is probably from being in the egg basket. I love these egg baskets, but if they do get moved or carried by the bale, sometimes because they're golf ball baskets, they are very flexible, and so sometimes it does crush the egg or damage it. This one is still fine. We will put it in our eggs for our family to eat, and so it doesn't have any dirt in it. It's still, the membrane is intact, so we will still use that egg, but obviously I'm not going to sell it. So that's what I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick out all these clean eggs, clean undamaged eggs, and then when I find one that's dirty, I'm going to put it over here in this empty basket. All right, so my 18 pack is full. I'm going to close it, and then I'm going to mark it. When you're using recycled egg cartons like this, it's very important that you mark over the other person's brand. You need to identify your product. I used to write on them, and you can take like a marker and you can just mark out the brand and put your brand on it or your name on it. I actually found it's easier for me. I use these little labels and I put my information on there. So then it has that it's a farm fresh egg, meaning it hasn't been processed, it's not washed, it's literally just, its bloom is in place, it's as fresh as you can get. Literally, these are yesterday's eggs and they're going to be sold today in town. And then it has my phone number, and then I ask that they please return the cartons. One of the ways that I try to keep my prices down is by reusing and repurposing cartons. It's very important to my operation. Okay, so we've got them sorted. That's the easy part, because what we have is we have the clean ones crated. And now these are my dirty ones, and I like to use a towel because I tend to drop them, a little klutzy. So I'm going to put them down here on the towel, and I'm just gonna look at them and see what I've got going here. So like, see this one, it just has some straw and some lovely chicken poop stuck to it. This is just a steel wool, and I'm just gonna try to kind of brush that off without actually washing it and disturbing the bloom. So I'm just gonna brush that off and it's good to go in the crate. Now, if it's too dirty, like this will probably not brush off. This is like a black tar kind of thing. I put this back in the dirty basket. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to wash this one with water. Once we wash it with water, scrub it with water, it's removed the bloom. So then these get washed and refrigerated. And then when I have enough of them every couple of days, I use an enzyme water that the state of Montana requires, and I wash them again, and I process each egg by hand. I'll candle it and grade it, weigh it, and then it will be crated and go to grocery stores. So nothing is lost, nothing is wasted, but I do go through these, and whichever ones I can get clean without disturbing the bloom still go as my farm fresh eggs. That is my process. The reason why we don't want to destroy or disrupt the bloom or the cuticle on the outside of the egg, these eggs will be counter stable for 2 weeks, and they can survive in the refrigerator for up to 3 months. So we want to leave that bloom on there if we can. However, for federal law, we have to remove the bloom for the grocery store. So I will have to wash that bloom off for the grocery store. But these farm fresh eggs, the bloom is in place. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.